As community and business are all moving towards a green economy, sustainable economy, how can automakers replace aluminum, carbon and glass fiber composites with natural materials to perform and even outperform? How did you come up with the whole project? What's your story? You were laying maybe in the field of flax, thinking that you will provide these solutions to McLaren, Porsche. What's your story?
You could think that, but actually, we have a very cheesy garage startup story in the sense that my co-founder and I, we both were students or PhD students at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, working on composite materials, and we had this passion to build lightweight skis. And so in that process, we came across
lightweight to go faster.
Lighter to go faster or easier uphill, and then enjoying the ride down, let's say. And in this process of making the skis as a structure more efficient in terms of performance per weight ratio, we came across flax, which is a tremendous. All spectators know flax from the linen shirts we wear in summer. So it's a fiber that's available and has great mechanical properties. However, you need to be smart about how you engineer with it in order to make a technical reinforcement fabric to build lightweight materials, in comparison to making a textile fabric for home textiles or fashion. So that's really where we developed our core competency. So,
how for automakers, why would they be interested in these materials? Is it because it's cheaper? Is it stronger or stiffer? Or is it just because it's sustainable? What's the why?
So the why, and I think it's a very important point in terms of the sustainability. We might get back to that point later on, but it was very clear 10 years ago when we started the company that no market out there, nobody would pay us a premium for the green aspect of things. So it was very clear also, and we are a very performance-driven company from scratch, very engineering-driven. It was very clear that we wanted to develop solutions that outperform the benchmark. So our business is really consists of replacing standard engineering materials. It could be plastic, it could be metals, it could be carbon fiber composites, and making things lighter. That's the core of what Bcomp does. So we deliver lightweighting. Then depending on what niche or what sector we target, typically we see a picture of a Porsche race car for body panels. So we see our materials being used in body parts of the car. There we match the performance in terms of pure engineering metrics. So mechanical performance per weight, which is really the driving force. We match the performance of carbon. But we come with a great USP, which is safety, in the sense that the material doesn't shatter when you have contact during a race. So we remove a risk factor in racing, which
can this is where you outperform.
Exactly. So we outperform carbon there, and then we come with a cost benefit where we take out 30% of material cost when compared to carbon. In this example, so it's the same technology platform, same idea, reinforcing structures with a natural fiber, with the flax fibers, but there clearly the USP is weight reduction. So we take out up to 60% weight compared to the plastic parts. So we talk not about the exterior body panels anymore, but about interior. Think of door panels or instrument panels. So removing weight, and as I said, we talk about 50-60%. So it's great benefit. And then also something that has come up now in recent years, where the customers become more and more sensitive to, is that we remove a lot of plastic.
How can we recycle them after those materials, or have another reutilization of the materials?
Yeah. So we think really in terms of the footprint of our material. If you look at the start, that when we start producing the material, then it's use phase. So for instance, when it's actually being used on a car, and then what happens afterwards. So if you think of the interior application, we use so-called polypropylene. So it's a recyclable polymer to start with. So we can take out the part, shred it, and then make what we call a compound out of it, and make a new part out of it. Now, one key question, and we might elaborate on that also, is a bit, who is in charge? Because already today, again, the European Commission, there is clear law saying that every single car sold in Europe needs to be recyclable up to 85% and reusable up to 95%, which is not, it's a good start, but nobody's really in charge, actually is responsible to actually doing it. So, you know, they just force automakers to think of that when they actually build the car.
I have a small business question related to the project itself, because I'm sure you founded the company in 2011, and it took time to approach big companies, big sharks like McLaren, Tesla, Porsche, so that they can try and test your materials to the point when they say, okay, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
I mean, we found it 10 years ago when it's clear that, you know, we started really focusing on attracting and acquiring these customers 3 or 4 years ago. Nevertheless, the 6 years before were very important, because when we actually got to the stage where we started market towards and raise awareness towards those brands and those markets, we had already built some credibility with our sports and leisure heritage, let's say. So if you ask me purely how much did it take from the very first contact until actually getting our material solution on such cars, I would tell you, and typically, you know, Porsche is a beautiful example where we really use that motorsports platform, which is very dynamic with a very short design cycle.
Yeah, because you already entered in motorsports.
Exactly, and that took us 8 months from the first contact.
Okay.
But it took us 8 months because we were ready in terms of, you know, the product. It was not technology status anymore. We had a technology readiness level that was high enough to actually feed it directly into production, and where we were able then 8 months later after first contact to actually deliver the product to the customer. So but I would say if you're ready with a product and you have credibility that you actually are going to be able to deliver, then the motorsport sector is a tremendous platform in terms of time to market.
A very good example.
Yeah. Clearly. Then of course the road, you know, road cars, that's much a longer process. But they're also the motorsports sector still, you know, and I think it will be that more again in the future, is a vector and accelerator to access actually the road cars.
The most important that we're in the right direction. That's
exactly.
the bottom line.